We're in San Diego at Comic-Con, and last year, director Zack Snyder of 300 fame launched the DVD release of that movie, and it went on to do very well. This year, he's back showing off parts of his new movie, Watchmen, and I got to talk to him earlier in the day. All right, welcome back to Dailies on Location. We're here at Comic-Con, and we're in the Owl ship now with Zack Snyder, director of 300. Now he's here getting everybody ready for the Watchmen.
Yep.
So when it comes out, you will have been working on it 3 years.
Yeah. Wow.
At this point, are you just like, let's get this movie out and let the fans see it?
Yes and no. Because right now, there's a lot of visual effects in the movie, so as they come in, I see them, and the movie looks better and better. So every day when we see a new Manhattan shot or some cool thing, I'm like, oh, that's cool. Of course you wish they'd all happen at once, but, the way it works, of course, is a shot comes in, and you go, oh, that could be cooler. Then you kick it back, and then they kick it to you again. So it's not...
It doesn't come in a fluid way. You got to keep kicking it back until you like it.
Shot after shot, yeah. So you keep kicking them back and getting them back, and we work with the visual effects department to really make them, get the best possible shot that we've designed. And so that process can't happen overnight, you know. So, but it's fun. I think that I'm anxious, for the movie to come out, but I'm also, it's an honor to work on the movie. It's super cool.
And to be patient from your work on 300, because you had to be incredibly patient. That was 5 years, wasn't it?
Absolutely. Well, that was 5 years from when we first, cracked the book and said, let's make this into a movie.
So you know how important Comic-Con can be to a movie if they're happy with it, because 300 got so much of its kickstart here. I think people have credited that. How nervous are you now? Tomorrow you're gonna have your panel tomorrow with the Comic-Con fans.
Right.
What are they gonna see, and are you worried about it?
Well, I think that you have to be a little bit worried because, no one knows anything. And, we just do the coolest work we can, and if the guys like it, then that's great. I'm showing them about 3.5 minutes of sort of there's a couple shots that overlap from the trailer. For instance, it's kind of the non-MPAA version of Manhattan killing the guys in Vietnam.
Now, Watchmen is such a beloved, obviously, set of graphic novels, but it's also, I think, some of the most complicated superheroes to try to put on the movie screen, if not the most. I'm you. I get any project in the world I want after 300, right? Pretty much anything you wanted, and this just seems so tough. Is that what was part of the draw?
No, that wasn't part of the draw. That was a reason not to do it, I think, if anything. When they asked me to do it, I kind of felt like I didn't want to do it. I kind of felt like it was I was a fan of the book, and it was one of the few things I had read and not gone like, oh, that should be a movie.
Right. People have described it as impossible to make a movie of.
Yeah, and so I guess part of the reason why when we finally came around to actually trying to make it into a movie, the reason why was because they had asked me, and so at that point I felt like a sense of responsibility now. Like, I couldn't just, it's like some, child on the street, like, oh, he'll be fine, I'll just let him go.
Because if you pass on it and someone does a bad job, then you did it.
Bad job is just not, it's my fault no matter what happens, right, after that.
Right.
So, I guess it felt like I wanted to we'll just do the best we can and try and fix it. Because the script also, the script was great, but it was all outdated. It was like, it was...
It was not set in 1985, because the movie is set now, back in 1985.
1985. Yeah, Nixon's fifth term, which is a huge deal to me. But sure. When I got it, of course, it was modern times, war on terror, trying to be very, I don't know what. But anyway, I didn't like that. And so, we just tried to get as much of the book back into the movie as we could.
I'm paraphrasing, but you said in an interview that this movie kicks other superhero movies in the gut. Just describe that.
I just think that it in the sense that it takes away, or it puts out into media and into pop culture ideas that in some ways threaten, like, sort of superhero mythology, And so in that way, it's dangerous. But look, I'm a huge comic book movie fan, so it's hard for me to say that, like,
because this is
I like
the uncomic book movie a little bit.
It is. It's a deconstructivist story. Like, it takes all the things that you take for granted in a superhero movie, or what it does is it sort of says the things that are the gimme in a superhero movie. It actually goes, wait a minute, let's talk about that. And I think that's the cool part of it.
Hancock had a little bit of that. He's the anti-hero. You see him as a person. He's an alcoholic. Do you think this movie will, knowing the source material the way I do, will be a whole new level of that? Is this a trend?
I don't know if it's. Watchmen is Watchmen. Is it a trend? It's like it's hard. It's like it was around before Hancock. Hancock is cool, but I think Watchmen is just a different.
To be fair, it was around way before this superhero movie phenomenon.
Absolutely, and it comments on a different thing. Watchmen comments on superhero comic books, and I think the one thing that's cool is that cinema has caught up with the superhero comic book in pop culture. I always say that, look, my parents know that Bruce Wayne's parents were killed, murdered by a mugger, and they know that Superman comes from Krypton or whatever. They're very, your average moviegoer has a lot of superhero knowledge now that is ripe for Watchmen to sort of deconstruct and take a shot at. Yeah, absolutely. I think that, well, not to mention the fact, the other thing is, look, in the end, I think if I made a 3-hour commercial for the graphic novel, then I'm pretty happy.
I know that the movie, the last I read, was 3 hours, and you were trying to cut it down. How's that going?
It's a slow process. It's not easy. I don't want to do anything stupid and ruin the movie, so I just baby steps. So it hasn't come too far down from that. But.
Zack Snyder, thanks
Awesome,
very
my
much.
pleasure.
Enjoy the rest of Comic-Con. Good luck tomorrow with the fans.
Thanks.
Oh, Zack Snyder, such a smart and talented guy. Watchmen comes out in March of 2009.